You're listening to Inside the Minds podcast with Dante Marsh and Ryan Hyde, where we talk about sports, life, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about.
31-yard penalty to support pass interference call against the Lions this year. Curly into the hands, and there's Dante Marsh with the block. And it's going to be a pick six for the veteran. 29th career interception. Almost on cue. 80-yard return for the 10-year veteran.
Hey everybody, this is the Inside the Minds podcast. We are here with Pat Miletich, the UFC legend. How's it going today, Pat?
Going super good. The sun's shining here in Iowa. Billy G's people aren't out spraying, and we're good.
At least you got the sun. It's raining cats and dogs in California right now.
Yeah, and that converts to massive snowstorms when it gets to me in here in Iowa.
Yeah.
It's piss and rain up here in Canada right now too, at least in BC. But it's not good. So
Right.
better than snow though. Better than snow. So Pat, I had some UFC questions for you before we get off too far.
Okay.
And of course, you and I have been now talking for about an hour already, so time flies. So first off, talk to us about how you ended up in the UFC.
Interesting story. It's, I guess, kind of comical, partially. I left college early. I think it was a combination of college. I don't know. I didn't gel with the education system. Let's put it that way. I just looked at the world. I vibrated with the world differently than what I was seeing anyway. I was going to school for marketing and always had an artistic mind, so to speak. And I've been pretty good at art and creating ideas, I guess, and visions. And so anyway, left school because one, I wasn't vibrating well, and two, really I had to. My mother developed severe heart problems and had to leave work, and so I went home to take care of her. My older brothers and my older sister were all married, had families. That was kind of almost impossible for them, so I just decided I'd go home. Started working 3 jobs, pouring concrete during the day, bartending at night, and bouncing at another club at night. And one day pouring concrete, a gentleman from Kentucky who was a black belt in karate said to me, we were talking on the subject of karate versus wrestling. This is long before the UFC. And he said, a karate man will destroy a wrestler. I looked at him, I said, what? And he goes, yeah, black belt in karate will destroy a wrestler. I go, you're from Kentucky. Have you ever had an Iowa wrestler grab a hold of you? And he goes, no. He goes, we can do it at lunchtime if you want. And being real cocky. And I thought, okay, we can do that, So we went out in the field, and I just grabbed his leg when he tried to kick me, dumped him on his head, jumped on him, held him down, slapped him a little bit, nothing big, and then let him back up, did it again. And he went, holy shit, okay, that's a different world. And he gave me a free week pass to his kickboxing karate gym that he went to. So I thought, all right, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'd done some boxing as a teenager and stuff. So I went, and we were running katas. They were teaching us katas. And I was sitting there. At the time, I was not even remotely into learning this bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And so by the time Friday rolled around and I was done with my last private lesson, I thought, yeah, this is definitely a joke. And then the owner of the school said, the black belts are going to be sparring in a little bit if you want to watch. And I thought, okay, I'll stick around for that. And these guys were actually banging hard. I mean, they were blasting each other, hard punches, hard kick, tie clinch, knees, they're all in gis, black belts and stuff. And so I went, okay, this is what I want to do. Yep, sign me up. So I signed up, got a black belt in karate. I started kickboxing early in my. I could hardly kick when I started fighting amateur kickboxing. I was horrible. I was absolutely horrible. So anyway, won a U.S. kickboxing title, got a 4th degree black belt in karate. Got into I was doing some judo at the time. And then the UFC came about, and I went, holy shit, they just created my sport, because I grew up wrestling and had done some boxing and now had, kickboxing experience and stuff. So I started training intensely in jiu-jitsu as well. And I just saw a chance to make money in chunks, to help my mom with bills. So anyway, I got a call from a friend of mine who had refereed some of my kickboxing matches up in Chicago. And he said, hey, there's a no rules, no time limit, no weight division tournament going on. And there's one spot open, and I think I can get you into it. And I thought about it for a second, and I went, and I go, what's the money like? And he said, $5,000, winner take all, second place gets nothing. And I went, all right, sign me up, man. That's do or die. So it was called the Battle of the Masters. It's on YouTube. You can find it. And so my first fight in MMA was Yasunori Matsumoto from Japan. He was bare knuckle Japanese champion and judo champion, I think 3 times at both. And I ended up armbarring him and breaking his arm, and then he escaped. I dislocated his elbow. He escaped, got back to his feet. I shot a double leg on him to take him back down, and he put me in a guillotine with the arm I just dislocated. Wow. And he was choking the shit out of me trying to choke me for a couple of minutes with a guillotine. It took me a while to get out of it, and then I eventually got out of it and got behind him and put him in a gi choke and choked him out. But yeah, that's how I got into it, man. It was kind of a long road, but pretty interesting story. But a Kentucky black belt got me into it.
Wow. Yeah, no kidding. That's crazy. So another question we missed from the last show with you was that the Tank Abbott bar altercation. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I wasn't real fond of Tank, just his demeanor and things like that. And so there was a bar in Birmingham, Alabama, and I walked up to him. He was dancing with his shirt off and stuff, and just kind of doing his thing. And so after he got done doing that, he was standing talking to Bob Marowitz, who was the owner of Semaphore Entertainment at the time, which was the parent company of the UFC. And they were talking, and I walked up, and there was a drink rail between us. And I walked up and said hi to Bob Marowitz and said, "Good fight, Tank. Good fight, your last fight," or whatever. And he face palmed my face and shoved me.
Wow.
And I called him a fat bastard. I said, I'm gonna beat your ass. So we both started walking towards the end of the drink rail. And I assumed we were going to meet at the end of the drink rail and we were going to start going at it. I was just going to double leg him and take him down and beat him up. And so we get to the end of the drink rail, and instead of taking a left towards me, he takes a right out the door of the bar with 2 of his buddies. And I went after him, and Ken Gabrielson, who was the first black belt underneath the Gracies, grabbed me. And I had trained with Ken for, I think, 6 weeks out in Orange County, California. Ken was an amazing guy. It still is. And John Lober was one of his students, and some other really good fighters. But they grabbed me and said, don't go getting in trouble. And I just went after him. And so they were running down the street. So they had a head start. So they got to the hotel before I did. And I got inside the hotel lobby, and I saw Jerry Bolander and Ken Shamrock, I think it was. And I said, "Where's Tank? Did you see him?" And they said, "Yeah, he just went up the stairs and got on the elevator." So he was gone. That was the end of it. But when I finally saw Tank years after, Tank had had a heart attack and almost died and had lost a ton of weight, looked very, very sick. And he was so pissed at me for telling that story. You could tell that, but I saw him one other time in Brazil. After I won the title in Brazil, he was sitting at a table in a nightclub restaurant in Brazil that we were taken to. And he was sitting by himself, and I was with a couple of my buddies, and I wasn't going to go get in trouble in Brazil, but he looked over at me like he wanted to fight, but either way. But the thing is I don't. Tank was a rough cat. I mean, he was in his prime. He hit like a tank, literally. So I was a 170-pound fighter. But I don't know. I was pretty good at fighting big guys back then. Who knows?
You think?
Yeah. So I mean, I won a couple no rules, no weight division tournaments and stuff. And granted, they weren't Olympic level wrestlers or anything, but there was some pretty tough guys in those tournaments. So.
Yep. Last question about the UFC right now. So back in 2001, I think I remember a story about Kuwait trying to start like a UFC kind of thing. And you had a bit of involvement. You were there, I guess. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I had a lot of involvement. I trained Dave Monet and Matt Hughes for that tournament. Carlos Newton was in the tournament, Jose Pele Landi, a couple other really a Russian that was tougher than, I mean, this boy was good. Combat Sambo and amazing boxing skills. He was scary. And then Barkalov was his last name, who was a Chechen. And there were a lot of Chechens there, I can tell you. And as we sat down for the weigh-ins, the fighter meeting and weigh-ins, there was a gentleman from Syria that was the head promoter. And he announced at the weigh-ins that there would be no weigh-in. There was no weigh-in. There was no scale, and there was going to be no weigh-in. And I looked at Barkalov, and then I also trained with Amri Batesh. It's spelled Batetti, but at the time, Amri was the #1 jiu-jitsu guy in the world. It was incredible on the ground, and he would stand up and bang with anybody. And so Amri's was an alternate in that tournament, and his guy was like 6'4", 230, and the weight was like a cutoff of 180 or 185. And so Dave Monet goes, Pat, I brought my scale with me. It's accurate. I have a digital scale upstairs in my room. And I go, let's go get it. So we got up to go get it, and the friggin' Chechens got up and blocked the door to leave.
Wow.
And I turned around and I looked at that Syrian promoter and I said, if we don't get on the scale and weigh in, we're getting back on a plane and we're leaving, and your tournament is done. Period. End of story. We're not playing around here. We're not doing this. So they let us go. Dave went and got his scale. Amari's guy in the alternate match weighed in 30 pounds overweight. He's done. He's out. Gone. Amari's fight's done. Barkalov weighs in. My God, I can't even remember how many pounds over he was, but we made him cut, right? We made him make weight. And so anyway, come tournament time the next day, Matt Hughes, right before the end of the first round, 5-minute round, shoots a double on Pele. Pele hits him with a knee and knocks him out and wins. And that's funny. There's a funny locker room story behind that. But Matt's memory was gone because he had been concussed so severely. And but Matt was scrambling for the takedown still and grabbing at Pele's legs. And John McCarthy stepped in and stopped it. And John McCarthy picked Matt up by his armpits and was walking him back towards me with Matt's back towards me. And I was yelling at John because it looked like Matt was still coherent in the way he was, hunting for a takedown still. And I go, John, why'd you stop the fight? And John looked at me like, dude, really? And then Matt turns his head sideways, tried to look for me around over his shoulder, and he goes, what's going on? and I go, okay, all right, justified. So anyway, then Dave Monet beats Carlos Newton in the first round, and Barkalov destroys his guy. And who was the other? The Russian, shorter, stocky Russian wrecked his guy. So they move into the next round. Monet fights the Russian, and this boy can bang. And Monet back then had an amazing chin because this guy was landing, 3-punch, 5-punch combinations, and it sounded like rocks bouncing off a boulder. I mean, there was some really hard shots, but Dave ended up beating him, and then Barkalov destroyed Jose Pele Landi, who Jose back then in his prime was absolutely an incredible athlete, super fast, very dangerous guy. And so anyway, it gets to Barkalov and Monet in the championship, and Monet looks at me in the locker room and he's scared. Barkaloff is a very, very scary guy. And he looks at me and he goes, "How do I beat this guy, Pat?" And I said, "Look, here's the thing that I observe of him, and this is how you're going to do it. He never moves his head after he's done with his combo. So cover up because he never faints, he never fakes. When he's coming with real stuff. So cover up, absorb the punishment on your arms as much as you can. And as soon as that son of a bitch is done, as soon as you think the moment he's done, you start firing shit at him and drilling." And he did. You see, he was countering very well. He was landing really good shots. And Barkaloff fouled him at one point. I can't remember what he did. And McCarthy took a point away from Barkaloff as well, which pissed the Chechens off to no end. So Dave ends up winning the tournament. And the sheik, the top dude, the sheik of Kuwait, is presenting Dave with a check and a gold belt. Well, my back is to the door. And all of a sudden, Matt Hughes looks over my shoulder and looks up and he goes, "Here they come, get ready." And in come all the Chechens to come after us. We're getting ready to fight with the leader of Kuwait in the cage. The Chechens are going to attack us, right?
Yeah.
And so we're ready to go. It's like, whatever, at that time when you're in your prime, you're like, yeah, let's go, whatever. But in behind them, the only people there to watch us, besides the sheiks and their families and all that, on couches, big leather plush couches on one side of the gymnasium, on the bleachers on the other side was a SEAL team, and they were there to watch us, right? And so behind the Chechens, the Navy SEALs come in the cage behind them, right? So now the Chechens realize they're sandwiched between, I don't know what SEAL team it was. We never got that answer out of them, but a SEAL team and us. And so the Chechens are like, okay, now we got a problem. Now we're probably not going to win this one, right? So anyway, that gets resolved. And then we're telling the Syrian promoter, we're not going back to our hotel because that's where the Chechens are, and we're not going there. So he goes, "No, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine." We end up talking to the sheik and going, "Listen, if you put us in the same hotel as the Chechens, they're going to attack us and you're going to have problems. You're going to have problems no matter what." And he goes, "Okay, I'll have my drivers take you to, it's the Kuwait City Hotel that the footage was shot out of when the Iraqi forces invaded Kuwait and were in front of that hotel with their tanks. That's the hotel they put us in. There was still artillery and bullet marks in the building from that time. So anyway, they take us in that hotel, and the guy at the front desk goes, he looks at us and like, "We're kids from the ghetto," He's like, "Well, why are get these guys out of here, beat it, get out of here." And our driver is going, "No, these are the sheik's guests." Well, there's a couple thousand sheiks in Kuwait. So the guy's not getting it. He's not getting it that this guy has number 1 on his license plate. We're his guests, right? So anyway, our driver, who's obviously an assistant and probably a driver for the sheik, gets on his phone and gets the sheik on the phone and hands the phone to the guy at the front desk. And all of a sudden the guy at the front desk is like, you could tell it was an oh shit moment in his life, and started snapping his fingers and screaming at the hotel staff. So they start running out, grabbing our bags, bringing us trays of drink, bringing us trays of food, all kinds of stuff, and put us in this hotel. But before they transported us there, we decided to eat at our previous hotel really fast and then go over. And I said, "Have your bags ready, get ready to go." Well, the Chechens were eating. The dining room was shaped like an L, and the Chechens were in a back corner table, and we couldn't see them. But when I went over to the buffet table is where I saw them. And every time I looked up, one of the Chechens had moved to another table closer to us. And then I saw another one move, and then it was another one. They were moving into position to attack us. It was very obvious. And I go, "Listen, don't even look up. The Chechens are moving and maneuvering around this dining room to get ready to attack us." I said, "On the count of 3, we're going to get up, we're going to grab our bags, and we're going out, throwing our bags in the trucks, and we're leaving." And so we got up, boom, we got out of there, and that's how we ended up getting to the other hotel. But in a conversation with the sheik's sons at the hotel the next morning, basically, our manager at the time asked how much the tournament cost them. And then our manager, who was a promoter at the time, went through the math of everything and said, "The sheik the Syrian just took you guys for an extra $2 million. And both the brothers looked at each other and then looked at us and went, the Syrian is going to end up in a hole in the desert. And nobody's ever heard from him since.
Wow. Holy.
That I don't
Wow.
have it. I don't have that VHS tape. I don't know if it exists on YouTube. I don't know where it is, but it's the holy grail of MMA events. It was an incredible event.
Wow. I wish I could see it.
It might be on
Wow.
YouTube by now. I don't know. It's somewhere though.
Crazy. So did they ever try again, or is like that was it kind of thing?
That was it. And the interesting thing was they had a post-fight dinner and party set up to celebrate Barkalov's victory. So I didn't even go because I didn't want to be around any of the Syrian, the Chechens. I didn't want to be around any of them. What was funny is, yeah, it was the night of the fights, as a matter of fact, I think. They went to this dinner. Dave Monet's got the belt. He's the champ. And they literally still followed through and celebrated Barkalov. Literally, they brought him up, gave him other stuff and money and all this other shit. It was crazy.
That is crazy. Wow. So for those, I guess, tuning in, Dante and I have been pretty busy. I'm busy with school. Dante's busy coaching. We are still around. We still do shows, and we're still around. So
And you're
welcome
back.
We're back. We're back with Pat Miletich, which is exciting.
I always have a ball listening to the MMA stories and the boxing stories. This shit is amazing.
Great.
I'm telling you, man. Like people, and that's the thing. Like people need to, I guess now with all this technology, you can really get like the juicy details of what really was going on in the world, because we were outside, we were living it. There was no phones, there was no
Right.
YouTubes and internets and shit like that. So a lot of that stuff is like, the stories are amazing. Like growing up in the 80s and 90s, that's what you know, it was the campfire tales, right?
Yeah, nobody was filming anything, so it's like there's no proof.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
I mean, in a sense, it kind of sucks in a way, because I mean, moments like that, I mean, we don't get to relive it, we don't get to see it, but for many other reasons, you know, cell phones now are a bad thing, but yeah,
but
right.
you know, like I said, I loved, like, even okay, so even with football recruiting back when I was coming out of high school, there was no YouTube. It was like just the beginning of AOL dial-up, like in '97. It still wasn't no heavy internet. Cell phones,
No social media.
no social media. Cell phones were far and few. It was flip phones and shit like that. You really didn't have the technology to do all
Right.
of it. I had a beeper in high school, so I mean, pay phones were still very, very much the way we communicated. You had the big ass house phones.
Yeah,
And it was just different then. I feel like it was harder to be successful back then. Your work ethic had to match your talent, and more times than not, your work ethic had to trump your talent, right?
Right.
Dealing with the young athletes that I deal with on a daily basis now, whether I'm training, mentoring them, or actually coaching them on my team, it's beyond me how a lot of these young people, with having the access to be able to reach guys like us that's now paying it forward, I don't see how they can't understand the secret is the hard work part. It's like nobody wants to do the work part. They just want to have the success. And I'm like, dude, you want to know the secret? Y'all really want to know the true secret to success? It's just, it looks like a tool belt and some damn boots and some overalls. That's what it looked like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's,
Yeah.
it's that, yeah, the instant gratification stuff it's tough to deal with, you know, with the younger generation and stuff like that right now. It's, you know, and that's something that I recognized that was happening. And, you know, so for my two oldest daughters, when they were young, you know, I told them, you know, you better get A's in school. I'm not putting pressure on you. I'm just telling you, here's what if you want to go to college. And, you know, me wanting them to have the satisfaction of knowing that they were the ones that earned it.
Right.
Just saying, be really good in sports and get straight A's, so you get academic and athletic scholarships. That way, when you get your diploma, you can go, I did this shit myself, period.
Yeah.
You know, and they did, and they buckled down and they did the work, and they're both in college and they're doing great.
Like I said, that's the thing, right? So I just don't understand, with all the resources available to the young people at this stage, right? It's like fail proof. If you just met like old school work ethic, and I'm like I said, I'm only 43. I'm a young 43. It's not like I'm 75. Like I'm
Right.
I'm saying, like, this is proven to work. And if
Yeah.
I had Oakland Parks and Rec, and we had YMCA back then, we didn't have these training facilities that I train kids at now. You didn't have a athlete that was either an Olympic athlete, a Division I football player, basketball player, Olympic track person, or Major League Baseball person from your neighborhood that made it, to be able to come back and give you all this information and help you try to reach the same status that they have. Now, this is what we do. And it's the kids that I'm gonna say kids, the young men and young women just don't have the mental fortitude to say, you know what? I'm gonna take all this information, soak it up like a sponge, and I'm gonna try to apply it to the best of my abilities. And it's just beyond me. I'm like, dude, we're literally walking holding hands to on the path to success, and they won't do it.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that I recognized during my coaching career is it started turning into, you know, the guys weren't quite as eager to work, didn't show up when they were supposed to, you know, some of that sort of stuff. And I noticed a change, a shift in kind of, you know, the work ethic for certain. And, you know, it's funny, I went and watched a practice of some of the younger guys. They were the guys that were on the tail end of my coaching, who were tough guys. They were very tough guys who still had work ethic, who now mentor other MMA fighters. And one of them yelled at this group of guys that were training, and he pointed at me and he goes, you guys wouldn't last a day in that man's gym. None of you would last a single day in that guy's gym. And we have to take into account, though, not only the cell phones and the instant gratification and the lack of concentration and focus and work ethic. You know, life has gotten easy for people, right? And that, as well as the massive amounts of, and I've been explaining this, I even explained this to the school board in my hometown, with what's happening to children and their bodies and their hormones, and you know, physical sickness, deformities, testosterone levels are in the gutter because of, you know, just atrazine alone, which is here in Iowa is way above the allowed EPA limits. But atrazine, proven in studies, both laboratory and in the wild, converts frogs and lab rats, males. They grow female genitalia. That's how hardcore these chemicals are and what they're doing and destroying these kids' testosterone levels. So we have to say to ourselves, okay, that's a really stupid accident by mankind, until you get to the psychological part of things, where they're putting out all kinds of literature and TV shows and everything else saying trans is normal. It's totally normal for a child to want to put, a boy to want to put on a dress. And no, it's not. This is not by, it can't be by accident at that point. You have to look at the facts and say to yourself, the things that are happening are not by just coincidence. It's impossible. And so therefore we have to say to ourselves, the school boards who are pushing this stuff, the social part of it, the mental part of it, psychological part of it, are basically complicit in crimes against children. Because ultimately what happens when they put them on the hormone blockers and stop the chance of testosterone or estrogen, whatever side they want to stop, and block these developmental testosterone or estrogen from coming through, they end up then undergoing surgery that mutilates their bodies. So this is serious stuff. This is serious stuff. These are, you know, if you don't consider it a crime against humanity and children, there's something seriously wrong with you. There's something very seriously wrong with you. And so when you look around and see the feminization of boys and men, that's what's going on. And if anybody wants to debate me, I've researched this stuff for years, for 20 some years, because I was watching it happen, not only in sports, but in general around me in public, and watching it and being aware of it, of the chemicals in manufacturing, in agriculture, in lawn care, in, all of it, golf course care. They're dumping toxins all over our entire planet. So there you go. If we want to fix things, it's a tall order, but there are products you can put in your body, organic products, to remove the toxins and the chemicals and the heavy metals out of your cells that will basically allow your child to develop correctly.
Right.
So that's it. Educate yourself and protect your children. If you want little Bobby to stay little Bobby and little Jane to stay little Jane, then do your research. Stop going along with it. And this is not out of kindness and acceptance and, what do they call it? Inclusivity, inclusion. And we include everybody. No, we don't accept these crimes being perpetrated on our children, period. End of rant.
Yeah. Hey man, you can't argue with that. I feel like everybody, like you said earlier, going back to what you said earlier, if the masses, the sheep, whatever you want to call them, they want to go to the right because they're being told to go to the right, and then you have X amount that want to go to the left because the free will and the mind and the soul and the heart that God blessed them with is telling them to go left. The people that's going left should be able to go left as they please.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, the mental damage that's been done through pharmaceuticals and other things, and the way that a lot of these people think, and the lack of frontal lobe activity, which causes narcissism, they just look at you and go, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're anything they can come up with, they will say, just because they don't have the mental aptitude to absorb what you're saying. It's too much. The truth is too much for them to process. It's just too much.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we need to be able to, this is a thing that I caught too, especially during the pandemic, is when you have a lot of these people back in the day when people spoke out against the machine, if you will, they were just, he's crazy, she's crazy, don't listen to them. And that was that. Now they are literally taking their pages, putting all these censor things on them, shadow banning them. I mean, if what they're saying is absolutely a crock of shit, then let them say what they say if it's a crock of shit.
Right. Yeah. And people have to recognize that they're literally siding with the most powerful people on the planet who absolutely hate us all. And through history, at the end of it all, when they reach their goals, the citizens that were aiding in the process of getting to that one-party system or whatever it is that their goal is of enslaving that society or that country or whatever, well, they always lined them up on walls and shot them because they serve no purpose anymore. And they actually, what's funny is they hate us all, but they hate the ones that are helping them even more because they're pushovers and won't even fight back and will aid and assist because fear, stupidity, ignorance, blindness, whatever, for a myriad of different reasons. And that gives them, the elites have even less respect for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at least we have awareness, we have fight, we have standing up, we have courage, we do what we want, we think the way we want. And honestly, they fear us, and the proof that they fear us is it's a gradual, slow grind, right? Mm-hmm. It's a slow grind. It's just little knocking out pillars of financial, knocking out pillars of health, of psychology, of, mental stability, all of it.
By design. Oh yeah.
Yep. So, and if people
Absolutely.
think I'm crazy, and we won't go down this road anymore, I just want to say that people can go to look up the Self-Defense Warrior podcast. It's being released next Tuesday, of our interview we did this morning with psychological warfare expert Boone Cutler and General Michael Flynn, who is former head of the NSA, the highest ranking intelligence official in the United States. And basically they're saying exactly everything we've been saying for years about what's going on and what's happening. So no, I'm not wearing the tinfoil hat. Just open up your mind, listen to the broadcast that dumps next Tuesday on redvoicemedia.com, and they can listen to that. And then they can also pick up their book called A Citizen's Guide to Fifth Generation Warfare.
Can
So
that,
end of that stuff.
sorry, can that also be found on Spotify or anything like that too? Or is it just on Red Voice Media?
Portions of our broadcasts are on Rumble and YouTube as well.
Okay,
So people can go there and check it out and look up the Self-Defense Warrior podcast.
perfect. I'm definitely going to do that. Definitely. So what else has been going on, Pat? It's been a while since we chatted.
Launched the Super Soldier product in conjunction with chemicalfreebody.com. They've got the best organic supplements on the planet. Truly no fillers, no chemicals, nothing. Purely just plant-based concentrated nutrients in all of their products. And so Super Soldier is we've had amazing results from people, a lot of great feedback on endurance, levels going up, inflammation, a lot of other things that are going on. A lot of veterans who've had their bodies put through the ringer are hitting us up saying this is a real deal. This has been very helpful. Thank you very much. And also in the organic agriculture world quite a bit the past year, and launched a podcast, the Self-Defense Warrior. But also we're getting ready to launch in mid-January. We feel that this one's, because of the circumstances that just happened with James Krause and his camp and all UFC fighters and trainers and everybody else associated with the UFC, Bellator, all of that nobody connected to any camps or the UFC or Bellator can do any gambling, do any podcasting about odds and betting and anything. So I don't do broadcasting for any of those organizations. I don't coach fighters anymore. I'm not connected in any way, shape, or form. So we're launching an MMA betting podcast starting mid-January, before the first event of 2023, January 14th. And so I've got a guy from here, my hometown, who's incredible at odds making. Makes a lot of money gambling on sports. And so we're going to put our heads together and we're going to give people our picks. And we think that it's an absolute winner. It's because we've got kind of the market cornered, so to speak, just given his experience and my experience, I guess, in conjunction.
Nice.
I'm not even sure if we can place bets on UFC up here in Canada. We should be able to.
There were certain, I know, I woke up one morning and I was reading headlines that certain provinces had banned it all of a sudden because of the Krause situation and what was going on. Again, I don't know if anybody's guilty of anything. I know there's still an ongoing investigation, but one thing I do know is that, this is the sort of thing where even somebody who text messages me, hey, tries to text message me, hey, so-and-so hurt their knee last week, or so-and-so got the flu, or so, don't even send me a text. I don't even want to know. I don't need to know it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know it. I don't want to take part in any of that bullshit. And besides, if somebody did, I'd go, I wonder if that's a setup.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check the provinces. Look up real quick and see what provinces allow it, if any anymore. But I know two or three banned it, or at least for a while.
Yeah, I believe they did too, but we'll definitely have to check that out. Pat, we had a conversation last week where I had told you I have another blood clot, which is pretty crazy. This is probably number 20, I think. I honestly I've given up counting. I've given up going to the hospital because for the most part they've all been superficial. So I've gone to the hospital. They've checked me out. They said, okay, you've got a superficial blood clot. There's nothing we can do about it. It'll just go away. And then at one time they got me an appointment to see a specialist who got me some blood work to do. I did the blood work, never got a call back from the specialist, but I'm still getting blood clots, and it's really starting to get to me. I'm active. I like to work out. I like to do things. I get blood clots. I can't walk. There's certain things I can't do. I get swelling. It's painful, and it scares me. I just started playing ice hockey again, and I'm running out of options of things I can do. So
well, I mean, I will tell you this, and it's happening again. General Flynn acknowledges, and a lot of people who are in the know, the former head of the NSA again is not going to say that a certain treatment is causing all of this stuff, right? Unless he knows. He's not going to blurt that stuff out. And so ultimately we have to come to the conclusion that scientists either made a horrible mistake or this is a different agenda, right? But I can tell you this, that you've got to give yourself the best chance by putting powerful organic substances into your body that have the ability to go into the cell and remove toxins and heavy metals and things that don't belong in the body out of the body. And that's why I tell people to go to chemicalfreebody.com and get the Super Soldier and the other detox products and get that stuff going in their body. And we've seen, some pretty cool things happen with people associated with everything that's going on. And that's what that's the only thing I can tell you is that unless you put things into your body that are going to bond with heavy metals and toxins and get them out of your cells, there's really, I think they're prescribing blood thinners, and kids are having heart attacks now, and all kinds of athletes, and it's absurd that there's people out there that don't acknowledge what's happening to people. And so yeah, and I'd love to have you guys jump on board, where you guys can get your own promo code and be able to help folks that to be able to do this stuff. But people can go on there and order, and if they use my promo code PAT1776, they'll get a discount and can get some stuff going. The Super Soldier is definitely one that I would recommend. The turmeric, the gut detox, and some of his other products, and because he's got the best formulator in the world, Dr. Treadway from the Hippocrates Health Institute. There's nobody better in the world when it comes to organic products and supplements and nutrients. And so that's really what it's all about right now, to hopefully help people, right? So that's where I would tell you to go. And, after you're done recording, I can tell you where to go to get signed up and all that stuff and get your own promo code. And then you guys can, be helping your friends,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Please do. Please do. So you're a pretty busy guy, Pat. So before we close out the show, what else do you have going on in the future? What's going on?
You know what? We're just staying busy, and like I say, the ag world, the organic supplement world, and I'm going to be grinding away on these podcasts. I'm going to be going to North Dakota, back and forth from North Dakota, but I'll be moving to North Dakota, up there where my girlfriend has a beautiful place on some beautiful property. We're going to build a food forest up there. We're going to have, she's already got an amazing indoor gymnasium in one of her buildings. It's literally, maybe not right now with 3 feet of snow, but it is in the spring, summer, and fall up there. It's literally heaven. Out in the middle of nowhere, and that's kind of a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be doing, working with guy by the name of Jim Gale from foodforestabundance.com. Those guys are designing food forests for people where you can grow 7 layers of food. You can walk away from it for 5 years, and it's not like a garden. You can walk away from it for 5 years, come back, and the only problem you've got is it's spread outside of your property. So I highly recommend that people start growing permacultures, food forests, grow your own food, take care of yourself. That way, chemicals are not used on it, herbicides, pesticides. You know what you're eating because you grew it, and learn how to can food, all of those things, because food is definitely, when people don't go to work, like if they lock us down again, that's going to cause problems for supply chains again. Got to understand people have to work to create food, to ship food, to pack food, to put it on shelves. So people have to understand that there's more to this that's going on. So start growing your own food and canning it, because if there's food independence and you can heat your own house with a wood burning stove and all these other things, what can they do? Right? What can they do?
Yeah. Can't touch you.
So super important.
Definitely let the lessons we learned, a year and a half ago sink in a bit, and definitely adjust what you do so it doesn't affect you like it did, is exactly what Pat's saying, and I've shifted my personal life to be careful, so I don't get shut down, basically, so I can still live, right? So
right, yeah, no, and it's everybody that's taken part in this, in terms of forcing these things upon people, are complicit in crimes. They're complicit in the crimes, and at the end of all, when it's all said and done, generally there are people that get held accountable. We know that a lot of people got away last time after World War II, but let's remember the names of the folks who are truly responsible.
Yeah,
Definitely.
You got anything you want to add, Dante?
I'm just for me.
Go ahead.
Exactly what Pat's talking about. I'm an outside the box thinker. My opinions and things that I think are my own. And I'm entitled to that. As we are. I don't argue. I'm not going to insist, force, or manipulate anybody. I respect everybody as they, as we should, as a human. And hey, man, one of my close friends that I've known for 20 plus years, I was in college with my college teammate. We had a disagreement, and he hung up the phone in my face behind politics. And we talked about it later and got it squared away. But I'm just, in my mind, it's like, wow, I can't believe you are actually drinking the CNN orange juice, man. Like, you got a brain. You're very bright. Think. Everybody need to think for themselves. I don't get caught up. For me, I'm very analytical. I'm gonna take all the information that I need, and I'm not. If you tell me the sky is red outside right now, I'm not just going, okay. I'm gonna clearly look outside. Nah, that shit is gray and blue.
Right. Well, and we have to remember that there's two sides to every coin. So no matter what media outlet it is, I mean, look, it's about division, right? It's about causing division. We cannot get sucked up to pick sides. Right. The only side that I pick is my children's future and their choice to do with their health what they choose. And nobody can interfere with that, number one, period, end of story. No individual should be made to do anything they don't want to do, and that has to be respected, end of story. So we know through history that through division, one side is given power and they come down on the other side. Now, we also know Hitler went to prison for a while, and when he got out, they made him a martyr by putting him in prison. And when he got out, they positioned him a huge movement of nationalism and going against, the Jewish population and other people who were not indigenous Germans, all this other stuff. And a lot of people, millions, lost their lives because of it. So we have to consider what's happening, say, to, you know, the former president, number 45. He's been, you know, they're turning him into almost a martyr, right? And
Yeah.
they're pushing people like me and millions of others who believe in individual liberty and sovereignty into a corner, right? They tried to get everybody to do the treatment, mandatory this, mandatory that, or lose your job and all the other stuff. So how stirred up and how angry are people, right? And I've said it from the beginning, and I don't like talking politics, but I'm telling people what they're doing is turning Donald Trump into a martyr. And in my mind, they plan on bringing him back in 2024. And at what point does then this individual who has been positioned this way take the leash off of his followers? And then we've got the same thing in history all over again. So be very careful about your thought processes, and do not let the division penetrate your brain, and understand, just know and be aware that you see the division, you see it for what it is, and that you remain outside of that, and you tell people, period, it's about citizen unity. There is no violence. There is none of that. It's all about unity and peaceful non-compliance. No, I'm not going to take part in the program. I appreciate you offering the treatments. I appreciate you offering me the opportunity to stay safe in my house, but I'm not going to take part in the program. I choose not to. I just choose not to, you know?
Yeah. Do you know how difficult it is to turn away from that? I mean, it's all over, you know? I mean, here's number one right here, you know, like turn on the TV,
Bro,
it's there, it's all over the place.
Bro, I dealt with people literally, almost physically coming to the point where they were going to attack me just for not wearing a mask, and having those levels of conversation, saying to them, you know, these people don't know who I am, but it always seemed to happen, for the most part, in shopping centers, grocery stores, where it was always a guy with his wife, and he decided that he was going to be the hero and scream at me and tell me to put on an effing mask in front of a bunch of people, including his wife. And I would say, either, many times I'd say, because they were obese and not taking care of themselves, I'd say, had you taken care of yourself all these years, we wouldn't have to worry about you now, would we?
100% on that.
They don't know what to say. And then the other one would be, there's a mask at the front door, there's a box of them up there. Go get one and try and put it on me and see how it works out for you.
Right.
And then they'd turn toward their wife, and their wife would kind of go, you kind of stepped in that one, buddy.
Yeah.
You know?
At the same time, I mean, I'm not going to be the guy now who looks at somebody who's wearing a mask in a grocery store and say, why the fuck are you wearing that?
Well,
if you're going to do it, then do it. If you don't, then don't. Like, it has nothing to do with me.
It should have always been that way, though.
Yeah.
Being accountable, people have to be held accountable, and you say to them, and this is what I say to people, I was not giving you shit for eating donuts for 30 years of your life and not training and not taking care of yourself and putting a massive strain on the healthcare system. Yeah. The reason we have to have healthcare now is to pay for your ass because you didn't take care of yourself, and you've got 4 comorbidities, you've got diabetes, you've got this, you've got that, high blood pressure, whatever else. And I'm the guy that has to pay into the system because of your ass. When I haven't yet, dude, I'm not going to go to a doctor. What am I going to go to a doctor for? Yeah. Why? So he can put me on synthetic medications that are going to make me worse and cause side effects? No, that's not the answer. And so they pull on your heartstrings and emotionally program you and say, do it for grandma and grandpa, or do it for the vulnerable, or do it for, and people think, when I say, you know what, F the vulnerable, F the obese, F the people that didn't give an F about me paying for their asses, right? Yeah. I'm not being emotionally programmed, and it sounds insensitive now, but ultimately we were sounding the horns of Gundar for fucking decades about this. Pardon the French.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, Pat, do you got a second? Because you're chiming into something that was chapping my ass a couple days ago, and I actually wanted to talk to you about it. I don't know if you have a couple more minutes.
Yep,
but,
I'm gonna drive to my meeting.
Okay, like obesity. So now,
right?
You hit so many things right there for me, and I got to be careful. I'm gonna try and walk in a really thin line with this because I don't mean any disrespect to anybody out there who unfortunately may be obese. Having said that, you get the fucking obese people. So, I'm sorry. You get, people that are overweight, that never took care of themselves, that don't have the motivation to do anything, that are now having these issues as 40-year-olds, and they're crying foul about it. And it's like, if you had to just tried to do something, if you had gone and worked out or done this or done that, and the ones I love to see are the ones who are obese and are out there running in the pissing down rain, because they're trying to do something about it, and great on them,
Yeah. Well, the food, you have to understand that big food, big tech, big pharma, all this stuff, they work hand in hand, right? So we have to understand that the food industry does not care about your health. That's why bread and pasta, wheat is in the food pyramid, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's why dairy's in the food pyramid. Dairy, non-pasteurized dairy, is actually really good for you. But once it's pasteurized and they throw, they cook it at 200 and whatever degrees, kill all the natural organisms in it, and then add synthesized or rock minerals, and there you go, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what that, and it's no good. It's no longer good for you, So, taking these products is, wheat converts to sugar, converts to fat. We know sugar causes inflammation. Inflammation manifests in different diseases: coronary disease, respiratory issues, arthritis. All these different health issues. So people have been educated incorrectly as to what's healthy for them. So if you're eating those things a lot, like pasta and breads and things like that, well, you're going to be obese. You're going to be sick. You're not going to have good health. So cut it out of your diet. If you're going to have a hamburger, I tell people, easy solution. If you're going to have a hamburger, shape it like a hot dog, roll it like a hot dog, cook them in the skillet or on the grill, and then wrap them in lettuce leaves, put your mustard and onions and whatever else, and eat it like that. That way you don't need the bread, you don't have the bloat, you don't have the discomfort, and all of a sudden you're losing weight and you're breathing better and everything else.
That's a great idea.
But that's the key. So during the pandemic or plandemic, instead of promoting healthier eating habits, better nutrition, gym, being active in the gym, they shut down all the gyms. All the fast food joints were still open. The liquor stores were open. More people into alcoholics than ever before, just about. So people and these kids. So my son was a senior in high school. So I teach at a high school. So when we went on spring break, we never went back to work in school because that's when it started. So a lot of the kids, once school finally got back to being off of Zoom and in person, you're looking at kids that were 160 pounds, on the football team the previous year are now 210. I was like, what did you do? Did you eat a person? Like, you're talking about stay in your home now, don't go outside. So I know for people of color, that melanin, that energy from the sun is very good for you, right? So being inside, breathing fresh air, interacting socially with another human being are all critical, because we're like plants, because plants have life as well. We blossom when we having these interactions and we're being out, getting to see outside and interact with people. As soon as we shut that down, that's when you die. Have you ever seen an old person? They've married 60 years to each other. One of the spouses died and the other one only lives a little bit longer because they no longer have what they've been living for, right? So I think the most critical thing is, instead of dealing with big pharma, big food, and all this industry shit, let's start promoting what's right. Get your ass a gym membership, train both physically, mentally, and emotionally, and just start trying to eat better. I mean, nobody's saying you can't have a hamburger or a hot dog, but moderation, right?
Yeah.
So I think
Moderation, exercise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that's of course, like you said, it's by design. Why would I want strong, healthy people when I want to be able to control them, control their thought, control their movement, control everything, right? And condition them to do as they are told. Rebellion, I tell you what, I don't know how many people are capable of individual thought. Roughly about 20% of society is capable of not taking orders that are even considered inhumane, right, by authority figures. So 80% generally of society will do exactly as they're told, meaning the people that don't think like you, they need to be put in FEMA camps.
Yeah.
And they will get themselves hurt trying to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. So Dante, I don't know if you have time to hang out after. We need to catch up. Pat, we should probably let you go because you're on your way to a meeting. And you just came from your talk and fit us in the middle. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming on today.
Hey, thank you guys. And like I said, go to chemicalfreebody.com. Since I'm going to jump off, go to Share a Sale. Look up Share a Sale.
Okay.
Get registered with that, and then look for chemicalfreebody.com and ask for permission to be an affiliate. Once we see that, we'll approve you, get you a promo code, an easy promo code to give to your friends, family, listeners, all of that, and then you guys can be promoting some really, really life-changing stuff and helping your loved ones.
Awesome.
We got to get you back on, Pat. We got a lot of shit that we need to talk about. It was getting very interesting.
Yes, sir. I get it, buddy.
Does. Pat, we'll definitely be in touch. I'll text you soon. Check in on you. Make sure things are well.
All right, man. You guys take care.
Likewise.
Thanks, Pat. You too.
Bye-bye.
Brother Dante.
What's going on?
What's going on, man? How you been?
I've been pretty good. I'm blessed. I can't complain. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good like always.
Yeah.
Had some my aunt passed away on December 1st, so we did a celebration of life for her yesterday. She was like the matriarch of the family, my dad's older sister, my second mom. As you know, both my parents are deceased, so that kind of was like, damn. So dealing with that, one of my childhood friends went to his funeral a couple months ago. And just, I don't know, kind of like starting to realize, damn, I'm getting old.
Yeah, I've got a couple of months on you, brother. So don't forget about that. I've already hit that 44.
But I'm not 44 to me, for me, at almost 44, for me is different than when I was a kid looking at a 40 man. Like,
oh yeah. Looking at my dad back then, I'd be like, what? Yeah. Now I am 44. I'd be like, shit. Now I feel old thinking about it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's the thought process. So for me, I've always been strong mentally. So I forget how old I am a lot of times. I still get ID'd sometimes. People think I'm like 30, 28, 30.
Yeah.
So it's fine. I mean, I think everything is in the eye of the beholder too, especially with athletes. If you notice, blogs, fans, fake ass couch potato, armchair GMs, oh, he's getting old, he's lost a step. When you start believing in that shit, that's when it happens. But
yes, yeah,
you don't go from being the person you are overnight to a has-been. So I think, your mental toughness plays a heavy role in that. And I think what keeps me feeling young and vibrant is, coaching, training, teaching at a high school. Like, I'm always around young people. So
yeah,
keeps me young. And I wake up happy every day, looking forward to crushing shit, because
Absolutely.
I was telling somebody this other day. I said, just think if it was like Groundhog Day every day, right? Every day you got them in the same boring, monotonous, same old shit every day. You wouldn't. What would life be worth? Would life even be worth living at that point? Like I could seriously see people being depressed, agitated, irritated, annoyed. Like if every day you just knew it couldn't get better than today. That's no way. So I believe in good energy and speaking stuff into existence. So that's just me. I wake up every day happy because I know I got goals that I set for myself and I'm trying to, reach them. So it's different, just different. I'm not gonna say different. I've always been kind of this way, but just I'm being a little more conscious of it now. Like really like it's all good, Let's go get it. I mean, there's a glass half full perspective on everything in life, right? So I mean, it's never as good as this can be, never as bad as it can be. It's kind of right there in the middle because it could always be worse, right? So
Yeah. I wanted to apologize for yesterday too. Just with texting you, I forgot, and I got my days mixed up that it was your aunt's funeral. So I was talking to my girlfriend. I'm like, it was like 10:30 at night or whatever. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, I think it was Dante's aunt's funeral. I thought it was Wednesday, and I'm like, oh man, I just felt bad. Like,
no. It wasn't. She didn't have a funeral, so it was a celebration of life. Here's the deal: my dad, her, my aunt, and my great grandmother, they all were cremated and they're put in urns, and it's at this Chapel of the Chimes Church in Piedmont, which is a little city in Oakland. So she didn't want to have a service, but she meant so much to the city of Oakland, more specifically North Oakland and West Oakland, in regards to how many people's lives she impacted for 40 plus years, right?
Yeah.
So it was only right that we, regardless of what her wishes were, we had to do something. You dig what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it wasn't a quote unquote funeral. It was just a celebration of life, and it was good to have a lot of people come out. People she raised, like she was an amazing woman, man. Like some of the most notorious gangster, dope dealer, rough cats. You know what I mean? Had the utmost respect for my aunt, and she's was an integral part of a lot of young men and women becoming young men and women.
Right.
It's just a wonderful lady, man. So we had to do that, but it was all good, man. It wasn't somber. I mean, I cried a little bit again, but at the end of the day, she lived. She was the epitome of a phenomenal woman. So what can you say? I know I think about that at times, like, damn, I hope I can live another 40, 50 years, be 95 years old.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
You think about, well, what would you want people to say at your funeral?
Better be something good.
You get where I'm going with this now? So that's why
yeah.
like, it's we often are sad and those moments are grieving moments, but nah, man, it's a celebration of life because you want to live your way in such a fashion. Because at the end of the day, once again, God gave all of us innate, unique superpowers and abilities, right? Gifts and talents. And our job, living this life for the limited time we do have, is to find out what those innate, unique abilities or superpowers are and max them out. That's our gift. Yeah. So, I think when people pass on, you want to remember all the things that they were able to accomplish in that said period of time, right?
Yeah.
Moving forward, I'm trying to be great. So
right.
when it's my time, people can speak highly of me. I mean, because to me, it's like a legend, right? You're trying to in your life, and this is just my own little way I used to think from growing up and even now still. I want to be great. Like I know a lot of people say that shit is cliche and people things. I mean, I'm adamant about being great, being one of the best at something, if not the best at something, right? So living your life in such a way to where when you dead and gone, people still speak fondly, speak with excitement, speak with gratitude, speak with, thankfulness and gratefulness when they speak about you. So that's kind of where I'm at with this thing.
Yeah, I hear you. Me too, man. Yeah, definitely. And that was your father's sister, right?
Yeah, his
And
oldest.
she reminded you a lot of your dad?
My daddy was just the coolest dude ever to me. I mean, and to a lot of
Yeah.
people. He passed early. He was only 56. Had some kidney issues, but my aunt was really truly my second mama. Like it wasn't like it's just you know how some people like that's Auntie Leslie, like she's like big mama, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She was only 2 years older than my dad, but and a few years older than my mom, but that she wasn't like you got your mom and your dad and then aunties and uncles. No, it was mama, daddy, and Auntie Leslie, you know what I'm saying? Those three, period. That's just what it was. And I lost both my parents, so she was like the last one standing that really held this shit down. You know what I mean? And it's surreal still, like, that she passed. But
Yeah.
she, like I said, I focus on the all the beautiful shit she done. I mean, to hear all those people that I've watched growing up since early 1980s to now speak so fondly of her. Because I lived it. So it's just, you know what I mean? So it's just it's amazing to see, and actually hear it come from people when you know what I mean?
Yeah. I was just going to say that it must have been a pretty amazing experience yesterday to hear all the stories of your aunt and, how she affected people in a positive way. I mean, that must have made you feel pretty damn proud and pretty damn happy. So,
and like I said, it's different when, it's different when you're just hearing the stories, but when you actually played a part in that movie, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's real because I was there. All them stories you talking, I was there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
That story was, I was a part of those stories. So it was just amazing. And then people even older than me that she helped raise, like to hear them, prior to me even being born and shit. I met Auntie Leslie back in 1975. That's shit 4 years before I was born. So just to hear stuff like that, to know that it was just a genuine person, man. She was dope. So
yeah. So how did the coaching go this season? Let's hear about the team.
we got we bumped up conferences. We had the #1 defense in our conference, and we had the #6 defense in the state of California.
Wow.
We were 4-6. We lost like 3 or 4 real close games. So, not season before this one, we were 10-1. So, or 11-1. So it's just a situation where shit, is not, sometimes it don't work out the way you planned it, but there's still positives in there. Like I said, defense stellar once again. We did get 5 or 6 guys out to, Division I programs. So at the end of the day, that's transferring them to the next level, to the university is the biggest goal and accomplishment. So it ain't, I mean, I've been a winner for a long time. So we still have some, like I said, glass half full, right? Yeah. As a former professional athlete myself, I don't want to lose shit. I don't want to lose a damn tic-tac-toe game. Like I'm very high. But me at my age now, I see, the most important part of this thing is making sure they're getting their education paid for and they get an opportunity to move on and play higher level college football. So that's the ultimate goal. So, it's still a win because at the end of the day, I'd rather win 6, 7, or 8 games and seeing 5 to 15 guys Division One, than to go undefeated and don't have but 1 or 2 guys going to the next level. So, you know, find victories and everything, right?
Yeah. So you still find that like playing, I know you're not too big into playing video games anymore, but like, you know, playing fuck dominoes or chess or whatever, you don't like losing it. I mean, I don't like losing, and I never played pro sports, but nobody likes to lose. But it's usually with me, like I everything's competitive with me. Everything.
It should be. And see, this is my motto, right? The whole thing. How can they beat you if they cannot work you, right?
Right
It's
here.
it's a motto, but it's also it's words to live by. No matter what you do in life, that it applies, right?
Mhm.
So being competitive, life is a game. Like for all of us older guys, we really played Monopoly as kids, you know.
Yeah.
Shit, we'd rather do that than play Atari and Nintendo back then, right? So that game, I think, doesn't get enough attention and respect. I think a lot of these millennials or these Gen Z, whatever the hell you call them now, they should play that game. It really is very fundamental in how to become a young adult and learning things like, you know, just from a decision-making standpoint, critical thinking, all of that is in that board game. And I think more kids should get back to that old school way of, you know, I can't speak about it enough. I think that's a dope ass game. And a lot of these younger kids should play it instead of Fortnite or whatever the hell they playing on PlayStation 5 or Xbox, because you got to make decisions. You got to critical think. You got to do well with finances. You got to buy property. You got to sell property. You got to, you know, you might pull the car, go to jail. Do not.
I was gonna say, you got to get your ass out of jail.
You got to think, right? So I think games like that are critical to the success of our young people becoming in, you know, or that are going into or heading into young adulthood. I think I was just having this conversation. My oldest is 20. He'll be 21 in March. So trying to get him to really understand, yo, I'm trying to teach you how to be a man. And, you know, I'm not going to be as emotional or forgiving, if you will, as your mother or as a woman figure. I'm just because I'm an alpha male. But I do understand because you're my child and you'll always be my child no matter how old you are. And I'm gonna love you to pieces, but I have to teach you how to be a young man. And this generation, we were alluding to it earlier with Pat, like I'm confused as to, I think in society, you know, the standards have been lowered too far. The bar is so damn low.
100% it is. Yeah.
And I'm at a crossroads because it's like, I know in my household growing up, when you 18, you better, you're gonna have to figure it out because you ain't gonna be up in here. You know what I'm saying?
You're not even allowed to say that anymore. You know?
Right. So I'm seeing a lot of people, oh, that's bullshit. And, you know, we were taught so wrong, and your kids, they're not ready nowadays to have to get out at 18. Why? I'm literally seriously asking the question, like, why? Why what has worked for so long, all of a sudden, no good no more?
Right.
And it's
no idea.
I feel
like who comes up with this shit?
Yeah, but Pat was talking about, it's like the powers that be want to create this false sense of entitlement and false sense of reality, and they create this bubble, and then it's counterproductive. Like not we per se individually, but the masses fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Meanwhile, they're doing that with an agenda. Like, oh, we gotta continue to keep a high standard. And as a parent or a family member, we don't want to see our loved one crash out. We want them to be the epitome of success. And I'm not saying it, and I have to clarify this too. Yes, I played Division I college football. Yes, I played professional football. Yes, I at some point they're going to be a Hall of Famer up in Canada. but I'm not living vicariously through my child. I had a great career that I'm satisfied with, and I'm okay. I've done what I was supposed to do for myself. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree. I've done what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So with that said, I just want them to be successful. You get what I'm saying? And
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
right, and as a parent for both my kids, right, to sleep easy at night knowing that they can take care of themselves out here in this crazy world we live in, right? That's all I care about. But for whatever reason, we have a lot of excuses. Well, it's different now. No, what's different is I think parents are softer because, and then in return, we're creating the cancel culture is killing it. Like alpha male is called toxic masculinity right now.
I didn't know that. Really?
No. I'm not being facetious.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, okay.
I am. I'm an alpha male. Yes, me.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not misogynistic. I'm not arrogant. I'm not like a male asshole, but I'm just a confident man, right? I'm still old school because we are over 40, so we old school values, right? That would classify if me and you right now today with that ideology or that makeup I just put out there, they call that toxic masculinity right now.
Wow.
And it's crazy. I think
dude, that right there though, it got me through so much in life. You became a professional athlete for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it got me where I needed to get to, is being confident in myself. I mean, I might not be the alpha male, but you have to be confident in what you do, because if you're not, you're just gonna get fucking broken every time.
I think you are. You have alpha male. You are alpha male. Because I mean, people just, and it's like you said, you got to tread lightly because anything you say can and will be used against you in social media law.
We are still live on social media right now, just so you know, Dante.
Right, no, and it's cool, but this is me. I am me. I am real. I don't hate.
I got nothing to hide.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not homophobic. None of this stuff. Like I'm just speaking from me.
No.
When are we going to get back to being able to be we, I, us, you, me? When are we going to be able to do that? It's so sad. It's so sad that you can't even, this cancel culture shit is just made everybody eggshells, and you can't, I mean, dude, we claim we live in the greatest place in the world. Like, I mean, I don't know about that no more. Like,
really quick question on this cancel culture shit. So apparently they're trying to cancel fucking Eminem. Whatever. Okay. I'm not a big Eminem fan, but whatever. How come Uncle Luke hasn't been canceled yet? I'm just asking, right? Like, what are they
trying to cancel Eminem for?
I thought they're just trying to cancel out from all his other albums, his first couple albums. He had a lot of homophobic raps, and
I don't even.
I'm sure I heard some rumblings about that.
Yeah, but okay, and
right.
I want people to understand. I'm neutral.
Yeah, me too, man.
Okay, so let me pose this question, right? Because this is our podcast. We're just having a conversation. Let me ask this. I'm not pro or con, pro or for or against. We're just having a conversation, right? So how come people of color can't be upset?
Right? What the hell?
You get so now?
Get
where I'm going with this. So here's the problem I have. We got to stop picking and choosing. Like the good book says, there's no one sin greater than another, right? We got to stop picking and choosing this cancel culture shit. Like, we got to stop it.
Yeah.
We got that X, Y, and Z is entitled to their opinion. Period.
Yeah.
I can't make you. That's the problem. People trying to force somebody else what to think, how to think, what to do, what not to do, what to say. That's why we're all unique individuals, man, because God bless each and every one of us with our own DNA, our own makeup. That's us. That's you. I'm not a clone. I'm Dante. There's only one Dante.
Yeah.
It's only one you. So what do we? I'm confused. I don't like it. because I feel as though if you stand for something as a man, you stand for something, stand on it. Be about it. If you believe that's your belief, stand on it, man. I'm not. Who am I to tell you no?
You can't do that. Nobody has that right.
Period. So what's the big deal? Hey, man. Hey. I kind of get confused when you have a race of people, right, who have been enslaved, killed, discriminated against, still to this day, for 400 plus years. So I'm confused how that multitude of people, which happen to be my people, right, don't have the same power as some people over here that are choosing a lifestyle. So I don't have an issue with nobody. I'm just make it make sense to me. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
And
you may never get that answer. Sorry to say, but
that's why our platform is. Remember when we first started? Like, yes, we have a lot of pro athletes and whatnot on here, but it's like the whole "shut up and dribble" statement. No, these are human beings who are high. So a lot of them are very intelligent. People need to know that. Like outside of that sport that I performed, because I was Dante Marsh, who was able to do a sport very good to a level to get paid for the shit. I'm still a human. I still have had to deal with these things that I am talking about, and I have the ability and I have the right to speak on them, right? As we all do. People got to stop confusing getting snippets and clips and then canceling people. That's the other part to this thing. Like, once again, I'm down with humanity, bro. I don't, because racism is a socially learned behavior. So
it is. Yeah, we've covered that.
I mean, if you got a sandbox full of different race kids and they're 3 to 5 years old and they're playing with each other, they're gonna love their little friend that they play in the sandbox with. Until an ignorant ass adult tells them, don't play with that such and such, don't be around that such. I mean, that's socially learned behavior. Because none of us were living in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s.
Yeah. We weren't born with racism running through our blood, didn't happen. So, right?
So that's kind of just, some of the stuff I would love to tackle, because these are current events, to delve off into on the podcast. I mean, I think having these conversations brings better brings more light, and it brings better understanding to it. And I think people, we can actually invoke change and create change, and when we have these hard discussions, right? Because now we can elaborate on things. It's not just one-sided. Like, I'm giving you a 15-second clip of part of an hour-long conversation we had, and then you're judging me or whoever based on 15 seconds of a clip.
Right.
And it's cancel.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's total
bullshit. Well, that's what I want to get in tomorrow with Mike Adam. I always call him Edom still, whatever. He came up publicly and said it's Adam, which is whatever. What? Let's hear it.
No, I said
that's call him Ed or Edom. Did you call him Adam or Edom?
Edom.
There we go. It's all good, man. It's all good. I mean, don't worry about it. He goes by both. Did you spend some time? You guys missed each other, right? Played against him, but you were out at BC by the time he got there, right?
14 was my last year, so I think he came in
16.
Year before. I thought it was 13.
Really? I'm gonna look. No, I think you might be right, because at one time I thought you played a year with him, and then I was like, no, I think he was in BC in 16. I'm looking right now. I was right. First year BC was 16.
Okay.
You were gone. So 13 and 14, he was in Montreal.
But that's what I'm saying. I played against him.
Yes. Oh, sorry. You played against him. Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, he came in. I was there. I was still playing 2 years when he first broke into the league. So
Yep.
I mean, we got to talk about this stuff, man. It's a lot. So I think 23, we have a shitload of topics, and I think we need to elaborate on. I want the show to get to a. It always has to be a platform where you could talk, man. Be yourself, do your talk your shit. Like this is
Exactly.
what it's about. That's what it's about. That's the beautiful thing about social media, right? You can now see the background, like you can see, like people can create a timeline visually for you to see. So like what's a day in the life of whoever, right? You can
Yeah.
actually see whether it's fake, real, or whatever, stage, whatever. But for me,
Yeah.
when it first popped, broke open in like 2010, 2011, 2012, I was using it. Back then it was 15-second videos. Hey man, look, I'm in the weight room. This is what we doing on game day, da 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 da. And you could kind of chronicle what you're doing. I think if and when used right, social media could be an excellent tool.
Of course. Definitely.
I mean, I love it, and I think we need to, like I said, this show is a platform, for athletes and celebrities and common folk. Man, get on here and be you. Do what you supposed to do. Like, people should see the real you. All this fake PR bullshit. Nah, be who you are. Just be a real person. People love real people, man. I'm as real as it's gonna get, man. I'm a down to earth dude. I am who I am. Him. I'm Dante.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's the beauty of some of the podcasts. I really like the podcast with Ryan Clark and Channing Crowder and some of those ex-NFL cats over there. They have some dope ass content.
Yeah. And that's what I want to say to Mike tomorrow too, is that sports is the vehicle that got us here. We could talk about anything. We are people. We have lots of stuff going on. It's just, thankfully the CFL and football, the NFL, got us all to meet in one way or another.
It bridges the gap. It's just like
exactly.
It's just like this.
Yeah. Right.
It's dope, man. It's a culture, and like I said, sports has crossed ethnic lines, if you will. It's bridged the gap. Atheists versus non-believers versus believers. Like I told you, I had that one story. I had a teammate in BC who was atheist, and I was in BC 11 years, and before like my last 3 or 4 years, he started coming to Bible study, man, eating with us, breaking bread, talk. I mean, it was just a beautiful, man. I'm telling you, man, sports is, it crosses lines, man. And you, like, for that moment, like even like going to the cigar lounges, like, went to a coaching convention out in Orlando a couple years ago. And I got to my hotel, went on my phone, cigar app, Uber to a cigar lounge. So I'm in there, cigar lounge, chilling, smoking a stogie, had a little drink. And two white gentlemen came up. They were from the South. So, hey, is anybody sitting here? And I'm like, nah, it's hella chairs here. Like, nah, come on, pull up. And they just started talking to me. I didn't know him from a can of paint. Before we smoked about 2 cigars. He bought me a drink. There's 2 dudes. They owned like tool like what's the name of that? Like they owned a chain of like stores, right?
Okay.
Tools and stuff.
Okay.
Hardware stores.
Yeah.
And gave me his card. Hey, Dante, if you ever in the Southeast again, man, call me. We'll go fishing.
Nice.
Like,
that's awesome.
These are 2 of the whitest cats from the South in America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Like, nothing, it's no issue because of this stuff. That was the common theme, right? So I like to say this, like with sports, man, let's pause this division, let's pause the racial tension, and let's actually talk to one another, because you'll be surprised. You know what I'm saying? You'll be surprised. And that's why I think the cancel culture is kind of bullshit, because you get away from really trying to understand who that person is. You kind of just put that person in a box, and then you label them, and then after that, there's nothing else that can be said because cancel culture, right? So I'm saying, like, these platforms need to exist so people can, hey man, you don't like it, don't tune in. Or if you don't like what somebody's saying on their social media, unfollow.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah,
It's not a big deal, right?
I can't be mad at somebody, because I'm never going to get mad at you because of your beliefs. I mean, that's your truth. If you stand on it, that's your thing.
As long as it's not hurting me, you know what I
Right.
mean? Then
That's
do what you got to do, man. You know?
And but remember, that's what I talked about, like humanity. Like when we got away from humanity, like loving humanity, it's a difference. You know, the division isn't there. If you were good, this is how I get down now as a grown ass man. That's lived some decades now, you know, and I understand the bullshit. Forget all of that. I don't see color. I ain't trying to know, because there's black people who do ignorant shit. There's white people who do ignorant shit. There's Chinese, there's Mexican, you can keep going with that. We all have ignorant shit going on in our own little communities and our ethnic.
Yeah.
But once again, we can't generalize, because everybody's not like that, right?
Yeah.
But if we keep seeing, because that's been the trick, right? We keep reporting and putting out there that this group does this, we're labeling people now. That's the cancel culture shit, right? You gotta let, if you have a relationship with me and you've shown me nothing but solid dude, he a solid dude.
As it should be, exactly. That's why I don't judge a book by its cover. When you hear about so-and-so did something from somebody, you're like, well, I haven't seen that yet. So let me be the judge of this person, not the bullshit that you're trying to tell me. And if so that happened, then it's called a second chance too. Or, you know, until you fuck me, basically, right? Like,
yeah, because you got to get people, and the cancel culture is, it has a name now, but that's been happening since the beginning of time. If a person wronged me, right? Because different people do different things with different people. Different people bring out different things out of different people.
Absolutely.
Like with an ex-wife, right? You guys may have had a great run, but it ended in turmoil and shit, right? Okay, boom.
Yep.
She may go get with a guy and be an angel.
So be it.
Vice versa. A guy may not be good for this woman. Straight asshole to her, but he goes and gets married, and he's the stand-up citizen with this new. I mean, so you can't say, well, you know, until that person, I have to give that person the ability to wrong me. Now, here's the flip side of that. You my guy, you my friend, my homeboy. Hey, Marsh, such and such ain't cool. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, my antennas is up. He already told me. So now at least I have that tucked away in the back of my mind as a warning, right? So then I know what to look for in terms of red flags and whatnot, that this person will do these type of things. Now, that's the way I handle things. So
see that, but also too, is that person's trying to just give you maybe a warning. He didn't say don't talk or don't. He's like, I'm just giving you a piece of advice. You know, but still leaving you the ability to make your own decision.
Well, it should always be that way, but people like click up once again. Before cancel culture had a term, that's what it was back then. Oh, this person I heard is an asshole. Well, he's been cool with me, so I don't know what you're talking about, right? But thanks for the heads up. So now I know I'm aware that this person could possibly be an asshole. So no, that's my gripe with the whole cancel culture thing. I think we got to stop picking and choosing when and what to cancel. Like I think some of the things that cancel culture is big on shouldn't be happening. Like we got to stop. What's good for the goose got to be good for the gander. So we can't say, just like I said, you're talking about Black people, right? Being upset, rightfully so. the whole reparations thing. You nobody's going to be able to argue with me about that because I'm African American.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you're going to say. And I'm not sitting here. I went to college. I'm educated. I work hard all my life. That's me. So it's not like a handout thing, but that's a real thing. I don't even understand why people have a issue with that. But then on the flip side, they don't have an issue with X, Y, and Z. That's where I'm at with the cancel culture thing. We gotta stop picking and choosing. If it's good over here, gotta be good over there. So
Yeah.
I think we have to get back to allow people to have free speech. You don't have to agree. You can agree to disagree, but it shouldn't be violence, hate, and cancel culture because somebody don't think the same way I do.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. Yeah, so the website's up.
Good deal.
Right? Built that shit. So yeah, just plugging away at that and building my own website now for my business. Going with that, so which will be up hopefully the end of the week because I got school started again on the 6th, I think it is. So it's back into the swing, right? So it just gets one thing after another. It's pretty intense. So
yeah, we good though. It's off season, so we should be able to. We'll work around your schedule because I'm teaching and stuff too. So
right,
we'll be able to get them. I'm for certain. At least try to get one a week, one.
That'd be nice.
2 weeks, we'll get it done. We'll figure it out.
One a week could be good. I brought up Uncle Luke because he's actually said he would come on the show.
Man,
but
look,
then I can't. I'm just trying to get him. Like, so we talked. It was on his own live Instagram, right? He's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll come on." So you inbox him. It's probably deep, right? But yeah. Anyways.
No, listen, man.
That'd be pretty sick.
Because once again, we grew up listening to Two Live Crew, man.
Right. Dude, that was my first tape. I told you that. My sister ratted me out for having it.
Yeah. So for me, it was Two Live Crew, Too Short, right?
Yeah.
So I had Two Live Crew. Hey, we want some, you know.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. And Be So Tired.
Yeah. Too Short, Freaky Tales, obviously back in the late 80s, late 80s. Two Live Crew, Too Short, Ice-T.
Ice Cube.
NWA all day. So
yeah,
West Coast dudes, you already know. So
yep.
yeah, it was heavy. So I would love it because that was kind of like when we did the podcast with Yella.
Oh, that was amazing, dude.
Yeah,
dude, he was a really, 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 really nice guy. Really nice guy.
DJ Yella, man. Shout out to DJ Yella, man.
Yes, sir.
We got to get Luke on though. We got to get Luke on.
Yeah, we got to get Luke on. And then Jesse Hughes said he was going to come back on finally, and we'll finish up that last episode about the attack there. So we've been talking a bit now within the last week.
How's his girlfriend doing?
Still in hospital, but in a different hospital. And I think she was doing the isobaric chamber? Is that what that's called? Hyperbaric. Thank you. So she's doing the hyperbaric chamber stuff, and he's been going in with her. I think she's like can hear things, but can't really communicate yet. But she's been smiling and stuff, so she's still not really doing very well. So, but better than she was, right? So
that's good, man. Hopefully she.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. It's not good, man.
I gotta get Corey on, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, what happened to that? That was a I went on, and then like.
Well, he's in Atlanta, so that's 3 hours, and then working, holidays, all this stuff. So we'll coordinate it. I'll text him. I got a big group text with G. Roy, Aaron Hunt, Ryan Phillips, Corey Banks, LeVar Glover. We a lot of us teammates. We got a little group chat text thread. So I'll see who's available, and we can put it together.
We got to get Phillips on here for sure, man.
Man, dude.
Yeah, we got to get him on here, man.
Ooh, a lot of stories, man.
What's your favorite Ryan Phillips story that you can say right now? Because I don't like to talk about other people. Speaking of talking to other people, I'm listening to Pauly Shore's podcast really quick. Really quick for me to say this. Actually, it was Jesse Hughes was on the show. and he starts talking about Josh Homme, how Josh, the lead singer of Queens of the Stone Age, Jesse's buddy, he goes to Jesse, he goes, so how did Josh's marriage end? And I'm thinking to myself, dude, you shouldn't ask that question, because that should let Josh answer that question if he wants to say how my marriage ended. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things I'm not going to be like, don't ask that question.
Right. Absolutely. No, it's a shitload of stories.
But there's got to be something you can share that's funny and like a publicly known story.
Let's get him on the show.
Okay. Let's get him, man. Let's get him. Definitely. Let's get him on here.
And we'll go through. There's a lot of stories. Ryan came to BC my second year, was his first year.
Okay.
Him and Corey ended up playing together, 10, 11? I played 11 with 10 with Ryan and 9 with Corey, 10 with Corey. Won 2 championships, obviously. The trio of us, stat-wise, is ridiculous. I think we got over 100 interceptions between the 3 of us.
Yeah.
We have 10 or 12 defensive touchdowns between the 3 of us. We have multiple All-Star awards and 2 championships. So it's crazy. It's Hall of Fame stuff. I mean, it'll never be done again, ever. So very, very interesting group of 3, because as you know, like CFL is 5 in the back end, and just us 3 dwarfs every other team stat wise. Like it was pretty amazing what we was able to do playing with each other. So I think the biggest thing was we actually liked each other. We hung out outside of football.
Right.
And I think that's what made those teams very successful. Was the fact that, like I said before, we would end practice at 2:30, 3 o'clock, and we'll be in the locker room until 8 o'clock at night, still playing cards, ordering food to the practice facility. So, Ryan was very energetic. We call him dance machine. Dancing, like he's always dancing. We choreographing dances and shit, celebration dances. So, he's funny. Like we hung out, man. We got some stories that we probably can't share.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think I'm so blessed and fortunate to have had those guys as my teammates for that duration. Because as you know, in pro sports, you don't keep guys together that long. So those relationships been formed, this bond there, and lots of great times, man. And I think that trickled onto the playing field, how we were able to be so successful, because we actually gave a shit about one another outside of the game.
It's too bad that we can't bring those days back to BC. I mean, we've had some teams that are good in BC. We're about to lose our quarterback, Nathan Rourke, has been getting a lot of workouts in the NFL. I think 10, 12, maybe even as high as 15 teams have worked him out. He obviously wants to sign no less than a backup quarterback role. Because, I mean, why leave if you're not playing? Even as a backup, but unless there's big time money, but
he'll be a third string guy. But see, here's the deal that people got to understand. Quarterback is a different world. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback is a guy, especially if you a younger guy, you'll take and he hasn't had an NFL opportunity yet. So like a lot of American guys, we were already in the NFL prior to coming to Canada, so we know what the deal is. And you grow up wanting to play in the NFL, right? So for a lot of us that ended up in the CFL, already had a year, 2 or 3, or had some type of career in the NFL prior to. So that's the goal, to get back, right? Mm-hmm. So, but when you play quarterback, obviously you could play longer than mostly everybody else. Look at Tom Brady, 45 years old. He's not.
Yeah.
You can be
Still gonna go.
fast. Yeah, as long as you still accurate, you can throw the ball. You can still be a field general on the field. You can, run an offense. Man, you can play as long as you still playing at a high level, right? So, he can be a guy that he paid handsomely, as a second or third string quarterback for a long period of time, right? And then, you go down there with the mentality of you're trying to be a starter or you want to eventually, break the rotation. But if it doesn't happen, he can always come back to Canada.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And people got to understand the money, man. Like, he was making six figures in Canada, which was good money for, 5.5 months, but that pales in comparison to the NFL salary. Like, you talking about 125,000 versus a 40, 50, 60, $70 million contract, right?
And then royalties and everything else on top of that, which we've already discussed.
Yeah. So, with the XFL coming, I mean, The Rock, it looks like it might have some staying power this time. So,
I honestly hope it does. I know it's going to hurt a league that I care highly about and hold close to my heart, but I just like watching football, and I don't, as long as there's product and a reason to watch, I'm watching.
It's too much talent and not enough jobs.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they need something else, definitely. And that's why I like the World League. Why did they quit that?
I think the World League failed because
it was the World League and just too far away.
And you're not gonna. Here's the thing, right? Football is top dog, right? In America, for sure, North America, Canada included, right? It's top dog. Now, hockey is big up in Canada. I get that, but you have to remember, what was America's pastime? It was baseball.
Yeah.
Man, listen. Once the AFL, rest in peace, Al Davis, and the owner from Kansas City. You got all those guys in the old AFL who were spearheaded that merger, right?
Yeah.
The NFL's become larger than life, man. You nothing can compete with it, especially not here, really.
No.
So at the end of the day, I think trying to make it a global sport. I think over time, like anytime something is new, you can kind of have something going, but if it don't really, soccer in Europe is big.
Too big. Yeah.
You're not gonna steal a lot of soccer, fans away for American football. You're just not gonna do it. I mean, it did. I think it did what it was supposed to do, a little bit, but you need to have that stuff here in North America. That needs to be a spring league. Then you can, I think at that point, kind of like Major League Baseball, it has to be alternatives because you have so many. The supply and demand. If you can't, I was in the NFL. I have a year of service there. I can sit here and tell you, not everybody is what you think they are.
No.
So there's a lot of good football players who just, one, don't get the opportunity, may not pass the eye test, may not run fast enough, may not be strong enough, but they hell of a football player and they should be playing. They just, for whatever reason, they're not. So it's only 32 NFL teams.
I was going to say the CFL is full of those guys.
Come on, man. So, I mean, the CFL is the second best viable option.
Yep.
Decent money, still playing high level football, right? So when you get these other leagues to come into play, I think it's critical and I think it's necessary because the amount of good quality talent, there needs to be more leagues and more jobs and more opportunities. So, and I also think that will help put pressure on the CFL financially. You got to pay guys.
I was just going to say, CFL better get their shit together before this happens.
Got to pay guys.
Or a lot of guys, they got to get that stuff. They got to pay their guys. They got to realize that, I mean, you're paying as an American player to bring your money back to the States. So you're going to lose how much every contract were you losing?
I wasn't losing a lot because the rate was a lot better when I was playing. Like, I think the lowest it ever was like 82, 85.
Right. Okay. So now it's 70, 71, 72.
It's ridiculous. So like, I think one year it was like 101. I actually made a few cents.
Yeah, that's right. One of the rare years that we could sell American money up here if you had any and make a bit of money on it. Yeah.
So and then it was like, you know, it was constantly around 90, 91, 92. So, and then the way I was doing my contracts were, I would get a signing bonus every offseason because I just kind of sign a one in an option. And then I make the all-star team. I outplay that first year. I'm like, dude, let's renegotiate. So basically, because I got rid of my agent after the Kansas City thing and decided to I'm gonna stay in the CFL. So what I need to pay somebody to negotiate a contract? I'm smart enough, I can do it.
I was just going to say, for those listening out there that don't know, Dante Marsh was his own agent.
Yeah, I was my own agent for the last 8, 9 years, 7 to 9 years of the 11 years I was up there. So yeah, well, I mean, I understood my market value. I knew, hey, I was one of the top dogs at my position, top 3, if not the best at my position for a number of years. So you're gonna, I'm me as the agent. Hey, I should be paid as such. And I feel like, you know, what I bring to the table, you can't find anywhere. So at the end of the day, that's kind of where your leverage is. So yeah, that's kind of the business. Once the CFL can actually pay what they should and could be paying, then I think a lot of guys will stay up there. Truth be told, because it's fun as shit, and it's especially for a defensive back. Like, it's very difficult. You're playing on a bigger field. 5 guys could go in motion. You really got to be good to be able to cover up there. That's just what it is. So yeah, man, I'm telling you, if you could pay, they could get them salaries up, you know, to the mid, you know, you're talking about 2, 3, 4, 500,000, not just for a quarterback. I'm talking about
or your number one guy or whomever. Usually quarterback. Yeah.
Shit, the quarterback's making 700,000 last time I checked up there. That was a nice chunk of change.
So we got to cut this pretty quick, but I have a quick question for you. Did I just lose it in my head? Okay, here we go. How many current free agents in the CFL right now are going to sign 1-year deals just to be able to possibly go to the XFL? Because I don't think the CFL is going to let their contracts opt out for the XFL like they do the NFL, right? Like, I don't think they would.
I would. If I would.
A 1-year deal? Yeah.
Here's the deal. First of all, and this is now I'm coach, Marsh. I'm in coach mode. I don't want nobody in my organization, program, or
that doesn't want to be there.
I don't want to be there.
Yeah. Sorry not to cut you off, but I mean, I knew the answer. And I wouldn't either. You don't want to be here, then go home, because you're not going to play. I mean, you're not going to play with a heart.
That's the dumbest shit ever. I don't understand why somebody will hold somebody hostage. At the end of the day, let's be honest. I played for 12 years of professional football, plus 4 years of Division I college football, and then high school. I played football for a large part of my life, right? At the end of the day, you putting your body on the line, you got to be compensated for it, because you got to, as Dante the agent, I got to maximize my worth and cash in on it, because we all know football's window can be this big, or that big. You just never know that.
You know that 100%. You know that. Yeah.
So I got to max this shit out, man. It ain't nothing to get. It's not guaranteed contracts like baseball and basketball. So what I have to market myself, I have to make myself, I got to have monetary financial gain is what I have to do. So at the end of the day, you can't get mad at a person because, and people that never played, they signed the contract, they need to honor that shit. Shut up. If you at your job right now and you're making $45,000 a year, and then another job says they're going to offer you $100,000 a year,
you're going to go.
Then cut the shit. That's what you're going to do.
So why can't you do that?
Thank you.
As a pro athlete.
Thank you. So at the end of the day, people, I had to start looking at it from a business standpoint too, once I was a professional. And I get it. As a kid, as a teenager, as a college student athlete, you are like, man, I'll play for that $3 million. They tripping. Until you start signing contracts and you're a professional and you really see all the shit that goes on. Then you're like, see why they hold out and they try to get this money, because it could be over. And there's nothing guaranteed about it except for the signing bonus. So you have to maximize your financial portfolio, if you will. You gotta get the most while you can get it. So, you know, I love the CFL. It was a great opportunity for me to continue my football career. I had a shitload of fun. I got to see a whole part of a whole top of our map from west to east coast in a beautiful country of Canada. Was very ignorant in terms of you know, geography until I actually got up there and got to see all the wonderful sights, and was blessed and fortunate to be in British Columbia for all 11 seasons. Second home to me. People love me, treat me well up there. So I'm thankful for that. However, I would love the CFL to be all it can be. And right now, it's not. And I think whoever, the marketing is not good. I don't think I just don't think it's heading in the right direction. I think it's so much bigger than what people even know. It's very exciting. It's a good game, but you gotta get outside the box. And you gotta market it. You gotta market the product, man. You gotta stop marketing a league and start marketing players. You know?
5 thoughts for you. Number 1, that's a question I have for Mike Edom or Edom, or sorry, Mike, if you're listening, which he's not on my Facebook anymore. He's off. Anyways, I want to know as a Canadian what he thinks is going to help the league flourish. That's thought number 1. We're going to ask him that tomorrow. Thought number 2, if I can remember them all. Did you see this? That's an autographed Manny Pacquiao glove.
Where the hell did you get that?
I won that, actually. Nice. So a buddy of mine who's a boxing promoter in Nanaimo, I'm on a BC ferry actually going to a Lions game. So my buddy who's a boxing promoter in Nanaimo posts on Facebook that he is raffling away Manny Pacquiao signed glove. Right. So I'm like, okay, I got to get on this. I'm not going to win because I'm not lucky. But I'll get in on this. $10 a ticket. So I'm like, okay, I'll buy 1 ticket. What do you know? 5 days later, I won. Wow. So there it is. Thought number 2. Sorry, that would have been thought number 3. What was number 3? Oh, I think the CFL basically knew that if they're going to hold players hostage from the US, that no American player would come back. So they had, and good on them for doing it. They had to, right?
Why would you shut off? And let's this is just
your main talent. Sorry, I mean, not disrespecting my country, but I mean,
but let's it is what it is. We gotta once again, we gotta stop being so and tiptoeing around shit. At the end of the day, some of your greatest players ever who helped make your game the game that it is come from the United States. Period. That's just that's a fact. It's not a made up nothing. These are facts. Why would you then shut that pipeline off? Because now as a business, it's all about the bottom line at some point for somebody somewhere. Like owners want to make money.
Yeah.
Teams want to make money. They don't want to be in the red. So at the end of the day, I have to get the best talent to give me the best chance to win and put asses in the seats. That's what it's all about when you're talking about sports, because it's sports entertainment, period. It has to be entertaining to the people. So yeah, you had to do that. But once again, if you do what we've been talking about for ever since I was still playing, they used to ask me these questions. I say the same thing over and over again. Love the game, love the country. It's a very unique, fun ass, dope, fast-paced game. But they're not doing it right. You gotta pay. You gotta get the salaries up, dude. There's dudes, prime example. There are guys that
you gotta be quick.
Real quick. There are guys that are in the league right now that will, trust me, will stay in Canada for $250,000, $300,000 a year instead of trying to. Am I going to be on the practice squad? Am I going to get released? Am I going to get cut with the NFL? I'm telling you. And these are very good athletes that should be starting in the league. But for whatever reason, like I know it's a money thing. If I got a draft pick and a free agent, who I'm going to play? The draft pick, period. That's
obviously.
That's the
okay. Here's half thought number 1, because I forgot the 5th thought, but I remember the 4th. So half thought number 1, the talent level coming out of Canada is getting better. Let's not, it's getting better. So
It's getting better, but
Getting
you
better.
can't use one player and generalize it. It's still not where it needs to be.
the CFL needs to listen and say, you can't have, only seven, or sorry, you can't dress 7 Canadians or have, it's worse than that. You have to have 7 Canadian players on the field at all times.
Yeah.
That's horseshit.
So you got to have 2 on offense and 5 on defense, or vice versa. You got to figure it out. The ratio thing. I was all about getting rid of the ratio. People got all upset. Hey, man, at the end of the day, the NFL don't got a ratio. If you are from Canada and you are that good, your ass is playing. They don't care. You could be from Mars.
Right? Yeah. I honestly didn't think the ratio was that bad until I actually started to understand the ratio, and that stat right there of having to have 7 Canadian players on the field at all times. And there's been instances where your number 1 player is American, but you have to have that Canadian. So he's, your number 1 player of American of a position, whether it's your DB, your lineman, or whatever, is now on the bench because we got to get that Canadian out here. Like fucking really? Do you think the fans don't give a shit? The fans want to see their team win. They don't care how many Canadians are on the freaking team, right?
You still have people that's on that height, and I said, get rid of it. Get rid of it. The best play. Because I played with some guys that are from Canada. Brent Johnson and he's one of them. Hey,
yeah. Okay, so half thought number 2. Let's call it the CFL one day, and we'll just, I don't know, we'll maybe do it anonymously, but just maybe try and sit down with them and give them some suggestions on how they can clean up the game a little bit, make it a little bit more better.
They're not listening. They should.
Yeah, they should listen.
You got guys who played the game for a decade plus that's telling you have to listen to the people. You can't continue to do things an old way. I think my favorite NFL team, the Raiders, I think they got stuck doing things the old-fashioned way, and every time has passed. Like Al Davis, rest in peace, man. In the 70s, in the early 80s, biggest, fastest, strongest guy. He always getting a speed guy. And will, hopefully we can make him into a great football player if they weren't already a great football player, right? That shit don't work no more because everybody has a facility to go train at now. Everybody's into training. All these like it's an all year round thing now. So okay, everybody's big, fast, strong. Now what? Are they skilled football players? That's the, you know what I mean? So I think sometimes thinking the old-fashioned way, you got to evolve and reinvent yourself with your thought process.
100%, man. Okay, and thought number 4, because those 2 halves became the 5 that I forgot. Marsh, I'm going to leave it on this. Dude, I love this, man. And I'm lucky that I can sit down with a pro athlete and have these conversations, because you're not gonna get that inside. I shouldn't say inside, but you're not gonna get that knowledge of coming from a former pro athlete to know about these topics and to be able to give their opinion about it, and I appreciate it, man. Like it's fun, and to be able to have these conversations with you, I consider myself to be pretty lucky. So thanks, man.
We both lucky because I'm just regular me. I just happen to play football. My thing is and we talked about this before. That's what this platform, this didn't happen by accident or happenstance. It happened because it was supposed to. So I go back to, no matter what your occupation is, no matter what gifts and talents God blessed you with, you're still a person. Remember, humanity. I'm still a human. I get up just like you, go take a shit, jump in the shower, brush my teeth, get myself together, put my clothes on, and go about my day. We do this shit. So what makes it? You get what I'm saying? I don't even look at myself like that. So I'm just.
But you got that. But you get the insight though. I mean, you've dealt with your contracts. You've dealt with. Know what goes behind a locker room. You know how hard it is to be away from your family. Yeah. You know the things involved to be a pro athlete. You know that you got to work your ass off. You can't. You don't just know it. You lived it. Know.
That's the thing, and people need to know that, because I think people that have never been, that's why we talk about technology and how things are different now, where you can reach out and touch and you can actually see, because I think people think athletes are spoiled individuals. You don't have a clue. You have not a clue. A person can't tell me about stress. A person working a regular 9 to 5 can't tell me shit about stress. You talking about busting your ass to make a team, not knowing if you're gonna get cut, if you're gonna be there, how many weeks, whatever. It's just you are evaluated every single day.
And maybe doing it sick, very sick, because you ate a spoiled sandwich on the way to the tryout. Hey,
I got food poison, man. It was, dude. The stories I should write a book one day. Like, just my life is amazing. You know, I was blessed and fortunate to be able to live the life that I've lived so far. And like I said, my whole thing is paying it forward now, getting to being able to be a part of all of these young people's journey as I train them, mentor them, coach them, teach them, and try to help them, you know, reach their goals the same way I was helped. But I can do it that much better because I actually did it from A to Z. So
that's right.
I'm on fire, man. I'm loving it. And I think that's what we are here for. You know, you max out your gifts and talents that the Most High has blessed you with, and then you got to impact a lot of people, man.
That's right. So we have Mike Edom tomorrow, 2:00, and he's in Vancouver right now. So
so we all on the
we're going. We're all in the same time zone.
Yeah, I'll be ready. I'm a train at 9. I got a session at 9, and then I get back, and then we got time. So
okay. Man, I'm thrilled because we just got a new treadmill. So I'm running every day again.
Get to it, baby. Is it snowing up there yet?
We've already had the snow, now it's washed away, and we're getting more snow, and you know, but yeah, no, it's typical BC winter. You know how they go. Actually, you weren't even in BC for winters. You were out. Oh, sorry, I lied. December. You were here till December, and then you're out.
Oh, so the year we won the 2011 Grey Cup, because we hosted it, I was there longer, and it actually started snowing. Yeah, because I remember going buying a big ass parka and some snow boots and shit like that. Yeah,
that's right. Thought number 6: can you just coach somewhere in the CFL so you can get me with the team or something, or like backstage pat? Come on, can this happen yet?
No, so I was offered a coaching job for the Saskatchewan Roughriders last season. I mean, you talked. Money wasn't right, and I appreciate, Coach Dickinson, Dave, offered me the position. It didn't work out for me financially, but however, I did go up and guest coach for 3.5 weeks of training camp. So it's and once again, that goes back to the CFL in the financial part of it. You gotta do it right, and the amount of time, effort, hours, and just the grind that wasn't enough. And I don't want to sound like damn, you turning your nose up at. No.
We all have a number though, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we got ends, we got goals, you're not at all, man.
So it was to some, it might have been a great opportunity. And the opportunity was still a great opportunity. However, just for me, for Dante, I thought there were, the money, it could have been in a place where I would have accepted it. I'm gonna say that. Was it terrible? No, far from terrible. Doable, yeah, but where I'm at in life, I couldn't do it for that. So, if that opportunity presents itself at some point in the near future, I'm definitely open to it. It just has to be the right situation, and the numbers gotta be right. I'm not asking for crazy amounts of money, but it has to be worth it. I mean,
thought number 7. My eyes are yellow, dude. My eyes are so yellow right now. Thought number 7. So if you coach in BC, you can crash at my house in between games, and then that'll cut down on your price. Thought number 8. Can you please make me the water boy or something?
No, if I'm coaching you, I'll get you some tickets for sure. You good?
Some tickets? I want to be the water boy.
We'll make it shake, man. You good with me, man.
All right.
Anytime I'm there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get up there for a game. We talked about
We talked about that. We still have to make that happen. Hopefully we'll do it this year.
I just gotta, because depending on the CFL season, when it starts and all that, because I'm coaching. So I talked to in our group chat, so we're gonna try to do like a little, all of us get up there. We'll try to make it. So that'd be good. And I'll definitely let you know.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Inside the Minds podcast with Dante Marsh and Ryan Hyde. Check out our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter accounts to see our upcoming show announcements, links to our previous shows, and sound bites. And don't forget to hit that follow button while you're there.
Hey, this is Logan Bandy.
Hi, this is Zane Frazier.
This is Art Jimerson.
Chris Rainey.
This is Boots Electric, and thank you for joining me on my special guest spot on Inside the Minds podcast, where everybody wants to be if they're smart.
Good field position start, play action. Burr's going to load it up, but he's short on the throw. Intercepted. Dante Marsh has his 30th career interception and a good return back into Ottawa territory. Well, the usually strong-armed Henry Burris comes up short.